Hey YouTube, welcome back to another video. Today is going to be a little different. I've done tube TV look-ats before, my Zenith and my GE, but this is a little different. This is I don't think I did my other tube radio. Maybe I'll do that one next. This is a look at my current project. It's a Westinghouse vacuum tube radio and phonograph amplifier. If you could see that right there, if my camera would focus, but it says here, I might have to manually, yeah, radio phono. So just gonna take a look at stuff I've done so far to it. We'll start with the case and then I'll get to that. So here's the case. It has the little, I repainted that. Same with the gold around here and around here. This is a Westinghouse H-112, which was to a combo unit. We could get that right there. 6-tube radio. This one has definitely seen some pretty hardcore water damage, and there's the knob. So I'll have a little story about this in a second. Here's the speaker, and I got that. And then we got the radio itself, and I should have done a video on it while I was working on it, each step, but I didn't. So let's take a look at the couple of things I did. So first thing I would like to point out, I did technically restring this. I just knotted it right here and right there, and it works. It works, and so I'm fine and I'm happy with it. I gotta get a replacement Philco ones because the base of them are a little loose. Like they're not soldered correctly, but it's got only, I believe, only one original tube to this set. These guys are Westinghouse, but I don't think this was around the same time as this. I may be wrong. In the comments, you could tell me below. But besides all this and all this, what people really do like to look at is underneath it, and it has had water damage at some point. And no, I'm not gonna plug it in and show you because all the tubes glowing, because I've seen it, but I don't want to do it anymore. If you look in here, it will focus. We have a mess. Now, this filter right here is actually just that. This is what I've done so far to it, and that is what I've done so far. Those have been changed, but you could just see here. If I could get a good feel on that, that's completely hollow. This is starting to crack right here, and just it's hollow. Almost all of these are shorted, which I measured and everything, but they're all shorted. And just in case you're working on a radio and you need an electrolytic, but you know the values of the can, and you convert it to picofarad. If you want to get into this hobby, I recommend having, I call it my tube binder, but really it's just a binder for a whole lot of things. So, this is pretty much a tube Bible from RCA. It's got a bunch of other stuff from GE, but this is Like, this is the Westinghouse file I got for this guy, and you can see this is what I've done so far. I haven't used these yet, because there's going to be for that, that's a that's a 1500 ohm resistor right there, and I was going to replace it with 1.6 ohm one, but at 2%, same as that, but yeah, I don't know at this point. So we got a Westinghouse one, and as you could see, this is just NT caps. I got more capacitors coming, but you know, just I'm trying to not to get everything, but like there. And I am gonna do this just in case. Anyone needs the schematic, and I'm gonna quickly show you if you do this stuff how to wire the electrolytic. And I have my Sam's photo effect for that guy, and then I got all my tube documents in here for every single tube I own. It's not been updated. There's this guy, and then there's the smaller FATA radio, which I'll do a video on. But yeah, it's a thick binder. Anyway, so with this, when I got it, if you could see it, this was a 4-section capacitor, electrolytic filter. So it was weird. It had 50 M, 150 volts red, and you know, yada yada yada, 30, 150 green, and then negative, and then that was normal. But what was weird about this one, I don't know what some old tech did. This is 1946 set. Just wanted to declare that. It had a green, not a green, a blue. And what they did, which is weird, I don't know if I could get that, but they tacked it onto this resistor right here. And right to there. Where are my fingers at? That silver? That solder? That's it. So I desoldered that. And it actually worked better. I don't know why they did it like that, but when I plugged it in, I would get a hum. It would be real muffled and low, but when I put that in, it was real high, so it was nice. Now it won't do anything at all, but that's just because these are just all gone to shit. They're all gone. So this is this big of a capacitor. This was filled before I took everything out. Is now this. So here's how you wire it. So since this is technically this is a 2-section cap, but I'd call it a 3 because of the negative. I don't really count the negative. Some people will. I don't. But so what you do is you just kind of get these, and then you put the negatives of them together, and you twist the negatives, and then positives go off to the correct values that you need for that section. So this actually might be a little bit, what is this one? Red. So I needed a 50 M at 150 volts. This is a 47 picofarad, which is picofarad and M's are about the same on this older stuff to 160. So voltage on capacitors, all right, when you're changing a capacitor, try to get a little bit above if you cannot get the exact value. And honestly, I wouldn't be too anal about capacitor values unless they're real far off. If they're real close, then go with it. But like if you have a 0.004, just get a 0.047. Like it's not a big deal. People in the real hi-fi community real like to get, they like to chrome plate or gold plate the chassis. They take everything out, put everything new in it, but I'm not really like that. So here's what you do right here. Lead here, tie these together, that would be your negative on this. It may be different for other people, depending on the stuff, like electrolytic cans on TVs. You can do this, and it's about the same. So this is a pretty common way to do it, and this is pretty much a good way to do it. People do put them on PCBs, like breadboards or something like that, but this is a lot easier, and you could just fit this right in here. And do mind the electrical tape. I don't have any heat shrink at the moment, so. But yeah, all of these are going to be changed. Next video, this is all going to be changed, but it's coming along so far. I got, since this is all cracked and stuff and broken, I got a piece of plexiglass, but I've kind of hacked at it, so I got to figure out something to do with that. I may just leave it, but I was going to repaint this whole thing, but you can't really redo that Bakelite finish because it's definitely faded, but all this is good now. So, also, just a quick thing. I don't recommend when you get a radio, you may be tempted to plug it in and see if it hums. But, I mean, I do that, just to get the best of me. Just because, whatever goes, I'll replace. Unless it's something like major, and this is a series string set. So, there's no real power, there's no power transformer to burn. If something goes open, it's going to be either a tube, which these ones I've already looked at, they're cheap, so I don't care, or a capacitor or resistor, which, just going to give you, not everyone is this cheap, but just resistor, $3 for 2 of them. I think this is new old stock Sylvania. NTEs, $3, $3, pretty cheap, and this is a local guy. So, they're not real critical. People say, oh, you'll damage something, but you will damage something if you leave it running. But, it's yours. Do whatever the hell you want with it. I wanted to plug it in and see if it worked, and it kind of did. It hummed, and then now it won't. And I got this, if you're working on this one, this is a very hot chassis. This is a hot chassis connected right to line. Do not touch this thing. I learned that the hard way. You can see my arm. This is still recovering. I got gold paint, but it's recovering from 120 from that into here. I plugged it in. I touched it when adjusting the knob when it was plugged in originally, and I didn't feel any shock. So I was like, okay, so I plugged it in, but I flipped it around. So this was hot. So don't do that. I don't recommend it. Be safe with this thing. These things could kill you. Just flat out tubes and transistors and anything with a chassis like this. Almost anything electrical can kill you. And this, if it wants to, and if you're in the right place in the wrong time, it will. It will easily take you. You may think it's a real fun hobby, which it is, but it does have some risks, and I'm just getting into it. This is what I've observed so far. Alright, so anyway, that is my 14-minute long video on the Westinghouse H-112 radio, phonograph, amplifier. And if you're going to try to find this set on, like a schematic of it, don't go to Sam's Photo Fact. It's not there. I didn't find it. I'd go to the John F. Rider Manual, the Rider Manuals, and do this. 1946 set, right after World War II. This is Tiaco08 signing off. And thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you want to. I don't really care. This is kind of just my fun hobby on side of everything. So I hope you enjoy and enjoy your builds.